Every breakup begins with a silence. Sometimes it's soft, sometimes it's brutal. But what determines whether she forgets you in a week or whether your presence echoes in her mind for years isn't just about how much you meant when you were there. It's about what remains when you're gone. Most men fade like shadows. They were there, then they're gone, and within months, she can barely remember the details. But some men, they leave a weight, a permanent imprint. Years pass, and she still measures every man against that one. And here's the truth. It's not about playing games, fake alpha energy, or trying to make her jealous. It's about becoming the kind of man who builds such a rare identity, such a strong presence, and such unshakable standards that once she's experienced you, she can't find that same thing again. That's what I'm going to break down today. How to become the one she can't replace. If you're ready for that, hit like, subscribe, and comment down below. I am irreplaceable. Now let's begin. 1. Build an identity bigger than the relationship. Here's the first and most brutal truth. If your entire sense of identity begins and ends with her, she can replace you in a heartbeat. Think about it. If you live for her approval, if your days revolve around her moods, if your hobbies fade away because she doesn't share them, if your friends barely see you anymore because you're always with her, then your identity is fragile. The moment she leaves, your sense of self collapses. That's why most men are forgettable. They were never more than her boyfriend, a role, a placeholder, and placeholders are easy to replace. But the man who's irreplaceable, his life is larger than the relationship. His identity is rooted in something deeper. He's the leader in his friend group. He's disciplined in the gym. He's pursuing his craft, his mission, his vision of the future. He's defined by his backbone, not by her presence. Here's what makes this powerful. When she steps into your life, she's stepping into something already rich and meaningful. She becomes part of a story that existed before her and will continue after her. That creates gravity. And when she leaves, she doesn't just walk away from a boyfriend. She walks away from an entire world. A life she cannot recreate with anyone else. That's the difference. That's identity. 2. Master the art of emotional control. Most men are predictable. When they're angry, they lash out. When they're insecure, they cling. When they feel her slipping away, they chase harder. Every reaction tells her exactly how much power she has. And once she sees she can pull your strings, the respect begins to fade. But the man who is irreplaceable, he flips the script. He doesn't suppress emotions. He masters them. When he's angry, he stays calm and decisive. When he's disappointed, he doesn't sulk or beg. When things don't go his way, he doesn't spiral into chaos. He adapts. That stability is rare. It's not fake coldness. It's genuine groundedness. And women remember it, because let's be honest, looks can be replaced, status can be replaced, money can be replaced. But emotional presence, emotional resilience, that's rare. Once a woman has experienced a man who can stay calm in chaos, grounded in storms, steady in conflict, every other man after him feels a little more fragile, a little more ordinary. That's why emotional mastery is not just attractive, it's unforgettable. 3. Make growth your default setting. One of the biggest reasons men get replaced is stagnation. They meet a woman, they get comfortable, and they stop growing. The gym sessions stop. The ambition fades. The curiosity dies. They settle into routine. And when she leaves, she knows exactly what she's walking away from, because he's not going anywhere. But the man she can't replace, he's always evolving, always leveling up. He's a moving target. Even when she knew him at his best, she knows he'll be better a year from now. Growth as your default setting means you're training your body, you're reading, learning, and sharpening your mind. You're building financially, socially, and spiritually. You're always expanding, always refusing to plateau. Here's where Stoicism comes in. Growth is not for her. It's not to impress anyone. It's who you are. Whether she's there or not, your life is forward motion. And years later, when she thinks of you, it's not just the man she remembers. It's the thought of who you're becoming and the fact that she's no longer part of that story. That thought burns. That thought lingers. And that's what makes you irreplaceable. 4. Build a life she wants to be part of. Not the center of. Most men make the mistake of handing over the keys to their entire life once they're in a relationship. Suddenly, everything revolves around her. Plans, energy, dreams. At first, it feels romantic. Over time, it becomes suffocating. Not just for you, but for her too. Because when you make her the center, you're putting pressure on her to be your everything. And no one wants that job. The irreplaceable man flips that script. He builds a life so rich, so full, so complete, that she's stepping into momentum. She's stepping into a thriving world, not becoming the reason it thrives. This gives her freedom. She doesn't feel like she carries your happiness on her shoulders. And it gives you respect, because she sees that your life has meaning, depth, and direction that doesn't depend on her. And here's the kicker. If she leaves, she knows deep down she's not just walking away from a man. She's walking away from a world, one that few others can offer. That's why replacement is no longer an option. 5. Keep your mystery alive. Predictability kills attraction. If she knows exactly what you'll say, what you'll do, how you'll feel in every situation, the uniqueness fades. Mystery isn't about playing games. It's not about manipulation. It's about living in a way that always leaves room for discovery. You have interests she doesn't fully understand. You have projects she doesn't know every detail about. You have layers that reveal themselves slowly over time. That's what keeps her curious. That's what makes her wonder. The Stoic twist? Mystery also comes from restraint. You don't broadcast every thought. You don't react to every situation. You don't reveal everything at once. When she's with you, she feels like there's always more to uncover. When she's gone, the mystery lingers. No one else gives her that same feeling. And that's why she keeps comparing, because she hasn't figured you out. 6. Set standards that never bend. Most men bend their standards the moment they're afraid of losing her. They start strong, but slowly compromise their values, their boundaries, their self-respect, until one day there's nothing left. But the man who is irreplaceable, his standards are carved in stone. They're not for show. They're not conditional. They apply whether he's single, in love, or heartbroken. Why does this matter? Because standards signal value. When you enforce your boundaries calmly, without anger, without insecurity, you show her something rare. You'd rather lose someone than lose yourself. That backbone is unforgettable. Because deep down, she knows most men will trade their principles for temporary validation. But you didn't, and that makes her realize being in your life was never a right. It was a privilege. 7. Build unshakable self-sufficiency. Dependence kills attraction. If she feels like you need her to survive, emotionally, mentally, financially, she knows she holds the power. And when she leaves, it's easy for her to justify. But when you're self-sufficient, the story changes. You don't need someone to fix you. You don't need someone to fund you. You don't need someone to stabilize your emotions. You've built your own foundation. And here's the paradox. Women are drawn to men who don't need them, because that's when they know you're choosing them out of strength, not weakness. The less you need her, the more valuable your presence becomes, because she knows you're not looking for a lifeline. You're looking for a partner. And when she leaves, she realizes she didn't fill a gap. She shared a life with a man who already had it all under control. That can't be replaced. 8. Earn respect everywhere you go. Finally, respect. A man who is respected only by his partner is fragile, because that respect vanishes when the relationship ends. But the man who commands respect everywhere he goes, that kind of value cannot be replaced. Respect isn't demanded, it's commanded. Through posture, through consistency, through the way you treat people. Not just those who can benefit you, but everyone. Through the way you follow through on your word. When she sees you respected by friends, colleagues, even strangers, it shifts the way she views you. Because now you're not just valuable to her, you're valuable to the world. And that weight, that presence, is something no ordinary man can replicate. Closing line. So here's the truth. Becoming irreplaceable isn't about making her regret. It's about building yourself into a man so complete, so rare, so steady, that once she's experienced you, every man after feels like a copy. You're not chasing her memory. You're not trying to prove anything. You're living your life with discipline, growth, and purpose. And years from now, when she looks back, she'll know one thing. She didn't just lose a man. She lost the original.